And we're back.
Another episode of the Road to Code.
Man, this is like episode 11, man. Like we're moving right along.
Keep on going.
Yep. I'm Victor. I am one of the co-hosts.
And I'm John.
And I am Gerard.
Welcome, everyone. Let's talk a little bit about Patreon, Jonathan.
Yeah. If you want to support us in this adventure of coding, you can support us by going on to patreon.com/theroadtocode and become one of our patrons. For our first tier, if you want to subscribe, you get access to a free Road to Code mug and early notifications to our YouTube videos and a yearly postcard expressing our appreciation.
That's right.
And for the second tier, you want to join that one, you get everything from tier 1. And then also, you get to be invited to be a co-host every season or every quarter and talk about tech with us.
That's right.
And for the third tier, you get all access to raw footage of the Road to Code episodes and also be a co-host and talk about tech.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, we're going to be releasing we've been releasing some bloopers, blunders, and funny moments from our recordings from season 1. And so I've been going back and pulling some of that out and remastering a couple of the episodes there. But yeah, I mean, we get our laughs here, and unfortunately due to time, we got to pull those out and you don't get to see those like we do. But yeah, it's kind of cool. All right, Jonathan.
Let's do it.
What do we have going on in this episode of our Zignificant application?
We're going to continue with authentication and authorization. So we've had the opportunity to see what's going on under the covers of the hashing passwords. And we're using a robust framework that Microsoft has put together for us. It's more secure and reliable.
Yep.
And we're already using Entity Framework, and Microsoft's Authentication and Authorization Framework falls right into the line of what we have in place. So we're going to override the authentication and authorization code that we put in place, but it'll leave forever in the Git. It's gonna be gone in the Git repository forever.
No, I think I misspelled something in the show notes.
So it's gonna live in the Git repository and in the podcast as well.
It's gonna live forever in the Git repository. Yeah.
But we won't see it.
That's right.
The code.
That's right. We're gonna override it, but it'll be in the history.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. So let's take a moment and let's talk about what a JSON web token is. Okay. There's a scenario that I like to talk about, and this explains JSON web tokens really well. Gerard, you have a driver's license, don't you?
Yes.
And when you had the driver's license, where did you go? Where did you go get your driver's license?
The DMV.
Because the DMV is the authority of who issues the driver's license, right?
Yes.
And so on your driver's license, what kind of information is on there?
All of my information: name, birth date, place that I live, the license number. What else? Oh, the hair color, height, eyeball color. If you need glasses, and if you're an organ donor like me.
So these are all claims, right? So you claim to be Gerard. You claim to be the particular.
You have to use the voice like
And,
I am Gerard.
No, this is Gerard.
you claim to live at a particular address. You claim to have a certain hair color, even though, I mean, it's visible to us, right? And it's apparent, but these are claims that you've made when you went to go apply for your driver's license. And the authority, which is DMV, gave you this token that you carry around so that if you ever need to prove to anybody that your claims are true, you can just show them, because you could say, hey, I'm 21. And they're like, prove to me that you're 21.
Fake ID, baby.
And so you show them your ID and the claims are there, right? And how do they know that those claims are real?
The barcode on the back or the little swipey thingy?
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely, right? Because it was issued by an authority.
Mm-hmm.
An authority issued that driver's license, and they can inspect it and they can say, yeah, this looks like a real ID, no pun intended, on real IDs.
I don't think I've even gotten mine yet.
I got mine. It's no different. The only thing is you can't fly without a real ID. You got to have a real ID in order to fly. But we digress. But they can inspect it and they can check the authenticity of that ID and say, yeah, this is your real information. Everything that you've claimed is true and valid, and therefore we're going to believe you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there's an expiration on that. That
Yeah.
means that you have to go back to the authority and renew that particular ID, right? And every time they renew it, they put a new expiration date on there, and people can inspect it and validate it and all that good stuff. Jonathan, let's share your screen and let's go to a website. It is called, I think it's called jwt.io, I believe. Yeah. So if you scroll down a little bit, let's go ahead and type some information here. So your name, let's go ahead and type where it says John Doe, go ahead and put Jonathan. Say John Doe down at the center.
Oh.
And watch as you're typing how that token is going to change over on the left.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's kind of cool, huh? So
Yeah.
over here on your right are claims. Okay. They're specifying that they're using an encryption algorithm called SH256. The type is a JSON web token. And then the payload is the data. These are your claims, your, whatever other information. I mean, it's just JSON. And so you can put whatever you want, but it changes your token on the left. Now, the blue part of the token happens to be the authenticity. So you can put some secret, like put Mary had a little lamb or something. So based on that secret, which nobody should know, it's going to stamp the blue part of your token. And if that blue part doesn't have the correct password or the correct secret passage, the server or the authority says, no, this is fake. I'm not going to honor this JSON web token because I know that blue shouldn't be what it is. Based on my password or my secret passage, that should be a different value. And so it gets rejected and it works kind of like an ID. So imagine you go to, let's say, for example, Facebook, When you log into Facebook, Facebook issues you a token, and that token is stored on your machine. And every time you make a request to go, I don't know, go look at somebody's profile, to go, thumbs up on somebody's message, whatever, the token gets sent to the server every single time you're going to make a request. And for every single request, it authenticates that token. And if that token is not valid, it's going to say, sorry, you can't make this request. If it is, hey, good, we're going to go ahead and let you make that request, whether it be view someone's profile, view a photo, like somebody's comment, or post, or whatever the case is. But it's all based on that. And this is how it's kept secure, is that there's a secret passage, a secret message on the server. And when it assigns it, if anybody tampers with this, it's going to know. It's going to say, hey, sorry, somebody tampered with your identity token. And so therefore we can no longer honor your request here. And it kicks you, it logs you out, basically, is what it does. And it tosses that token. So this is what we're going to end up doing. We're going to, instead of sending back information, we're going to actually send back a token and say, hey, here's, every time you make a request, here's a token that you're going to be using. And as long as that token is valid and it hasn't expired, we're going to continue to honor your requests. That make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of cool. Does it match the analogy, the DMV analogy?
Definitely. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we need to do a couple things, Jonathan. Let's go ahead and open up Visual Studio. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to update your Visual Studio. So on your lower right-hand corner, you see that little bell with the 1 on it. Go ahead and update on close. And go ahead and close Visual Studio and let this update.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and close this up. And let's launch Visual Studio again. So we have quite a few NuGet packages that we're going to need to install. Well, a couple of them. Yeah, we need to put those packages into the solution or to the project itself. And so we need Spot Proxy, Entity Framework Core, Entity Framework Design, Entity Framework SQL Server. Actually, if you go over to the updates, we need to update those. Yeah, we need to update all these. So go ahead and select all packages and then just update them.
All right.
And let's make sure that we could still build. Go ahead and do a clean on the solution. Oh, this is for the web app. What is this for? What is it? Oh, this is for the node stuff. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and install the Entity Framework tools, Entity Framework Core, and Authentication JWT Bearer. Let's go ahead and get those in there. You can unpin that error list. And you can also unpin your output. Give it a second here. Look at your output, make sure that it installed correctly. See the output, yeah. Okay, cool, it finished. And let's get the other ones in there. Entity Framework Core, the Authentication JWT Bearer. All right, so I'm going to close this up. In fact, you can close all your windows right now. And then go ahead and collapse all your projects. The one thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to open up the app settings development. So in here, what we're going to do is we're going to have two different keys, one for development, one on your local machine so that we can show the kids at home how this works. And then the one that we put in the app settings we're going to actually blur it out because that's going to go on the server, and that's the one that we need to keep secured. But for the development purposes, we can go ahead and show everything here. We need to add a node to this JSON in order to add the JWT portion of it. So that secret is actually going to be generated. We're going to go to a site so that we can go and get that secret.
Okay.
Let's go to a site called grc.com. GRC is it stands for Gibson Research Corporation. They're actually a security company, and they talk about how to keep everything secured. And this is one of the first sites that actually started generating like these random passwords. So I think if you go to, what is it? Passwords. So you go to services, maybe. Password, perfect passwords. Yeah, you can take the bottom one, 63 random. Yeah, just double click in there and copy that puppy. And you're going to use that as your secret. So essentially, if anybody tampers with the token, and when it tries to validate it using this secret and it doesn't decrypt correctly, it's going to say, sorry, your token's been tampered with. It's invalid. Need to log you out. And so that's what this is for. We're going to show this for the kids at home, but when we do our app settings.json, we're probably going to blur that out so that we can keep our site secured. What else do we need to do? We got that in there. We set up that. We set up our secret. Let's go ahead and go into our, so keep in mind, Jonathan, remember that we got to generate a new one for the app settings. In fact, why don't we just go ahead and do it now?
All right.
Copy lines. Hang on, go back to Visual Studio. Copy lines, that whole JWT portion, including the comma. And let's paste it into the app settings.json file. Yeah.
Boom.
And let's go generate a new password for our production, for our website. So let's go back to GRC, and we'll be blurring this part out. Just hit refresh.
Yeah.
And then I think we can get away with the valid audience. We might be able to get away with that, but we may need to change that URL. In fact, why don't we go ahead and change that URL?
Paste it right here.
Yep, in those two. That's who the audience is for, and that's who the issuer. That's our DMV basically. All right, let's go ahead and save this and close the app settings. We're done with this one, and we can save this as well, and we're done with this one. All right, so the next step is going to be to add the DB context for the identity stuff. So we're going to need to add an application DB context, and that one we can add it in the data folder. Yeah, so we'll call this one application DB context. And we're going to need to subclass this from the identity DB context. So that's what comes with the Microsoft's framework version. We need to fix this error here so that we can bring in the using spaces. Yeah, and then let's fix the other one. Excellent. And then, yeah, we just need to add the constructor to pass the options in there. So you can type in CTOR, CTOR, and that'll tab, and then that'll give you the skeleton. And at the end of line 8, you can go ahead and just, oh yeah, you need to pass in your parameter. Sorry, yeah, add your parameter. Very nice. And then just go ahead and fix. You don't need the extra braces because you already have them on line 9 and 10.
Oh, yeah.
And then let's go ahead and fix that error.
There we go.
Excellent. And then I think we need to add the on model creating. We just need to add the method in there. Yeah, just type in override space and then look for on model creating. So on, and that's it. That's all we need in there. We just need that skeleton. What's going to happen is that we're just going to inherit a bunch of behavior from the identity DB context. And we're Microsoft is already providing everything that we need. They're already providing it for us. All we need to just subclass from there. And that was it. Simple, easy, huh?
Yeah.
All right. We do need to add a couple of new classes. And so let's go ahead and let's create a user role. Let's see here. So let's go ahead inside of data. Is it inside of data? Yeah, we can go ahead and put it inside of data. Go ahead and right click and add a new class. And we're going to call this one user roles. In here, we're just going to add, two lines of code, a public constant string admin and a public constant string user. We actually need to put this under models. Go ahead and leave that the way it is and just add it under models. So go right click on the models folder and add a new class. Yeah, and then go back to the other one and just copy those lines 5 and 6. No, just lines 5 and 6. And then we can get rid of the other one.
Delete.
And then cool. And so then once we've added that, we're also going to need to add a response class. So under models, let's go ahead and add a response.cs file. And then in here, we're going to have two properties. So if you just type in prop tab, it's going to be a string and a status. And then another property called message. You're going to see how this was used in a bit. Okay, now we're going to get into the whole nitty gritty of this stuff. Let's go ahead and modify the user controller. Yeah, in here. Okay, what do we need to do? We need to do a couple of things. For one, we're going to have to modify the constructor. And in the constructor, we're going to receive the user manager, the role manager. And I believe that we already have, now we're going to need the configuration as well. So we need to add 3 of them: user manager, role manager, and configuration. So if you go to the constructor, so if you do, yeah, there you go. On line 46, you can get rid of the iUser repository. Let's put it all on separate lines. So if you, put the iLogger on separate lines, and then on top of iLogger, let's add a couple of other classes. Let's go ahead and add the user manager, and it's going to be a generic type of identity user. And then, so let's go ahead and fix that. Let's fix that error first. And then go ahead and go to the end of user manager before the comma, and do a control period so that we can generate the field automatically. Does a lot of work for you, huh? And we'll do the same thing with role manager. And then we also need configuration. Sweet. So that gives us that. You can also get rid of the iUser repository on line 14. We don't need that one anymore. All right. I think things are broken right now. So we'll have to go and modify our methods. So if we go and modify the create account, so we're going to have to modify this whole method here. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to modify everything inside the try block. And so we're going to use, instead of using the iUser repository, now we're going to use the user manager. And then here's where we're going to make use of that response object that you just created. That was a lot of code there, Jonathan.
Professional.
You know, for the benefit of the kids at home, let's break these up into some lines here. So let's go with line 26. And then perfect. So that way we can see it all on the screen, and we'll do the same thing with line 30. Perfect. And yeah, everything else is on the screen so we could see it pretty easily. And then we just need to add the proper error logging. Well, we got the error logging in there. We just need to put the right return status code with what we're going to do is we're going to return one of the new response instead of doing the title and message. Let's go ahead and do a return a response. Cool. And then let's also break it up into several lines to make it easy for the kids at home.
There you go.
Put the status code on a new line as well.
Of this one?
Yeah. Perfect. That way we can see everything on the screen. I know we have a little bit bigger font here, so it makes it a little bit more challenging. Very cool. That is going to create our account using the framework. So let's go through the lines really quick. Let's go to the top of the method so that we can. So we've changed it from going through and checking to make sure that the user doesn't already exist, because we don't, if the user already exists with that email, we don't want to try to insert it again. It's just going to crash. So we're doing some defensive code here to make sure that the user doesn't exist. If it does exist, say, hey, let's throw an error and just say the user already exists. If the user doesn't exist, then we go ahead and create a new identity user. So this identity user is part of Microsoft's identity framework. So they gave us the model. We're just going to create a new one. We're going to provide the email, the security stamp, the username. And then when we go to create it, you'll notice that we're passing in the user and the password separately, because whatever they're doing with the password is probably something similar to what we did in the code, where we go and encrypt the password and the whole thing.
Oh,
they're probably doing
yeah.
something similar. So they're taking care of that. And then if the result is successful, then we go ahead and return if it's not successful, then we return a 500 error saying, hey, we had some kind of problem. We couldn't do it. Otherwise, we go ahead and add the role of a user to the new user, right? And if all that goes successful, then we return an okay. If for whatever reason we get some kind of exception, we'll go ahead and log the error and we'll return the status code and say, hey, we don't know what happened. Here's a message. We're bailing. You know, we can't complete it. That takes care of the creation. Now what we need to do is we need to go and take care of our login. But before we take care of our login, we need to add some code that'll go in and create our JSON web token. So let's go ahead and create a method called getToken. So let's talk about what this method does here. So this is actually going to be the token. Remember we went to that site, jwt.io, and over on the left-hand side was the actual token itself. That's what this generates right here. So this generates with all the claims, and we're going to put the claims in a moment. But JWT:secret, JWT valid issuer, JWT valid audience. Remember where that came from?
That was the secret code.
Yeah, so that comes from the app settings. So if you open up the app settings development, that's where it's getting all this information. So the JWT valid audience, JWT valid issuer, JWT secret on lines 13, 14, and 15, that's where it's getting all that information. So we're actually using the configuration values. And in code, it knows how to read this file through the configuration. Make sense?
Yeah.
So we get all that information and we just plug it into here. So that takes care of the token aspect of it. Now we're going to get into the actual login itself. So let's go into the login method. Wow, this looks so simple in comparison to what we're about to put in there. So yeah, let's go ahead and put the code in there and then we'll talk about it after. Very cool. Let's talk about what we did here. We have everything inside the try. The first thing we want to do is go find on line 80, we want to go find the user based on the email. If the user doesn't exist, or if the user password is not correct, or if the user, wait, let me start over. That if statement says, if we do have a user, in other words, it's not equal to null, and the password matches, then we continue on. We're going to issue that token. And when we issue that token, we need to go get the roles on line 83. We go and assign all the claims, the hair color, the eye color, the height, the address, all that good stuff that we would normally find on a driver's license. We're going to assign those claims starting at line 85. And then on line 90, we start assigning the roles. And on line 93, remember that method get token you created? We pass in all that information and we say, go generate that token. And once we get that token, we go ahead and send it right back. And if for whatever reason the user doesn't exist or the password doesn't match, then we send an unauthorized request back on line 101. And if it all fails, then we execute the catch block. And that's going to return an error code back to the user.
Cool.
Whoa.
You would think that we're done, right? We have a couple of things that we need to add in order to be able to handle all the Microsoft framework stuff. We need to add some stuff to the program file. So let's go to modify program.cs. Yeah, lowercase configuration and get rid of builder. So leave that configuration in there and just put a lowercase c. Yep. So bring in those identity user and identity role.
There we go.
All right. And then, yeah, adding the authentication. That's a big whopper there.
Oh, no.
So I think that's correct. Yeah, you can just get rid of the Microsoft identity model tokens and then just bring in a namespace by fixing the error. I'm going to fix the error first. Yep.
Valid.
Valid. Let's see, what else do we have in there? I think we need two more little pieces of information. on line 50, you know how we migrate our database? We need to migrate the authentication.
Cool.
And then the last and final piece down at the, if you scroll down where it says, let's see, is it after use routing? Yeah, after use routing. App.use authentication and app.use authorization. I think that's it. All right, and let's open up Visual Studio Code and let's modify register.
Okay.
Okay, so down on line 15, it's going to be API user/register. Yeah.
That's it.
And then, yeah, pretty much. We got one more piece to go. Go ahead and go back, go ahead and save this and go back to Visual Studio.
Mhm.
Go ahead and under project, the project menu up on top. Is it project or is it view? Go under view. Go under other windows and look for package manager console. Yeah, that one right there. And in here, what we need to do is we need to generate the update schema. And so the command is going to be add-migrate and then -context, and it'll be the application DB context. Yeah, the name that we're just saying we're going to add authorization.
Add auth.
Yep.
Enter.
Enter. So this is going to go and add the scripts to update our database. Oh, what happened here? So yeah, we removed a little bit too much code. I'm gonna send you in the chat that piece of code. Go ahead and copy that piece of code. That goes after the JWT. Scroll down a little bit. Above on line 42, you can just paste it in there. Yeah, we took too much out. Go ahead and save this and then go ahead and try the command again down at the bottom.
All right.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Sweet. I think it's going to work. Go ahead and run it and see what happens. Okay, let's go look at Visual SQL Server and look at the databases and look at the Zignificant DB and expand the tables. Look at all those new tables.
Wow.
So like it gives you like a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and register.
Super secret password.
Super duper secret password. Super, what is it? Super fragilistic expialidocious. All right.
Uh-oh.
So we didn't really expect it to work the first time, did we, Jonathan?
It never does.
All right. Let's go ahead and leave it running, but let's open up Postman. We'll just get some more information. Do you have a register?
In here?
No. What's the check the first tab.
That's the login.
Oh, and the second one's also the login.
No, it's just the user.
Oh, okay. So we should be let's go look at the endpoint because we'll go to Visual Studio real quick. And the name of the endpoint. So if you go to the user controller and then scroll down to the register.
The login, right?
No, we need the register. Maybe that's why, because we're missing That's what it is. We're missing. You see how you have login, HTTP
Yeah.
post login? We need one that says register.
Oh,
So let's
All right.
go up to, so you can copy line 75 and then go up to line, what is that? 30, 39. Go ahead and press enter and then paste it in there and change the login to register. And then you're going to have to stop it and run it again. All right, let's try to register again. Let's do Jonathan, the super fragilistic expialidosis password. What? Oh,
that was it.
That was it. We missed that little attribute on the controller.
Sweet.
Let's try to log in. Go to the login page. Oh, you exposed your password. Uh-oh. We got a sorry. Wonder what we're getting back. Well, we got the register to work.
Yeah.
So let's go and try to log in through Postman.
Okay.
So you go to the login tab and go to the body. And then put in Jonathan. And yeah, let's see. Go to press send and see what we get. Okay, so this is actually working. It's the UI that wasn't prepared for what it's receiving.
Oh, because it's all like hashed. It doesn't know what to put out kind of thing.
Well, I think we were just receiving the user object and we were displaying your name, your password. We were just displaying everything. So now what we're getting is we're getting the JSON token, the JSON web token, JWT. Let's copy everything from the EY all the way to the K. Copy that. And remember that site that we went to, that jwt.io?
Oh, yeah.
And go ahead and go to the, oh, there we go. Paste it in here where it says encoded. And look at the information.
Whoa. It's got my name.
Now, the signature is on your left-hand side is that blue stuff. That's the signature. But because what happens is that when you make a request to the server, we're going to have to send this token. And when we make a request, it checks that signature. It says, oh, wait a second, this is an invalid signature. If you don't have the correct key, see where it says on the right-hand side, it says your 256-bit secret.
Yeah.
Let's go and copy that secret from the app settings.json file. Yeah, go to the Solution Explorer. Oh, there you go. Yep, copy that secret and go paste it into that website. You see how I changed the signature? Now it's a valid signature.
Oh.
And since nobody knows that secret, it needs to match that signature. But it gets everything. It gets everything from your based on that secret. It validates whether somebody has tampered with this particular token. It's like the California ID, right?
Yeah.
If you change something on it, they're going to know. Somebody's going to know. They're like, yeah, no, this looks like it's been tampered with. This can't be valid. This can't be good. And so based on that secret, that blue is the signature. And if that's tampered with, it doesn't have the right information, it's going to reject your request right off the bat. Let's go back to Postman and see what it is that we're receiving. All right, so we're receiving an object with token and the expiration. And really all we need is a token. So let's go do some programming go ahead and open up Visual Studio Code And let's go and modify the login. And so right on line 16 is where your information comes back. So we get the response. I wonder what it's. Can we look at the error in the browser to see what it's complaining about? Failed to load resource, server responded with the 401 unauthorized. Can we go look at the code for a moment? And let's go to the user controller. Let's put a breakpoint on line 81. And then let's go and log in again. Let's go see what's happening. Yep, go to Visual Studio. And let's inspect the model. So hover over the model. Okay, so we get your email and password, which is what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and step into that. Oh, step over that find by name. And what is user?
User. Up here or this one?
Yeah.
Here.
Okay, so we get all your information from those tables. Okay, so we're good. We do get it. So let's go ahead and step over. Oh, return unauthorized. This is because user is not null and check password. I wonder if the check password is not. So it's returning an unauthorized. It's not even going inside that if statement. What is model password? What is your password? Password 1 exclamation, Jonathan.
Oh,
here, let me show you a trick. Go ahead and change it right there, right where you're at. Change it to 1 exclamation. Little debugging hack. Okay, press enter. And then you see the little yellow arrow on line 102? Drag it all the way up to line 82.
Whoa.
Oh, we're going to rewind it.
I did one too many. Okay.
And then step over it. Oh, what is the password again? Password. Oh, look at that. It changed it again. Okay, let's move the arrow first and then hover over password and change it right there. Okay, and go ahead and click away and then hang on. Let's hover over password again. Make sure it hasn't changed it. Okay, let's go ahead and try to step over now. There it is. A little bit of hacking going on. So we entered the wrong password, which was the appropriate thing to do. So it was unauthorized. We're gonna have to check the code and see how it's handling that unauthorized. But let's go ahead and continue. I'll tell you what, just let it play.
Yeah, cool. It went back.
And look at your data. Yeah, your token is there. So that means we have to take that token and we have to store it somewhere so that we can make a request later on. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and grab that token. Go ahead and copy that. Let's go over to Postman. And, oh, dang it. We're going to have to, let's go to Visual Studio. We'll make a change. We'll secure something. And you see the weather forecast? Let's go ahead and on weather forecast, right on line 15, give me a new line. Well, I'll tell you what, can you get rid of that packet manager console? Yeah. Oh, okay. So you can get rid of those 2 lines. Sorry, my mistake. And it's actually right under line 21. So give me a new line after line 21 and open up some square brackets. And you're going to put the word authorize. And then go ahead and you could do the control period so you could fix it. That's it. Bring that authorization, that first one. So this is going to require that the token get passed in every single time. Otherwise, it's going to say, hey, you don't have access to this. So go ahead and save this and run it. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and leave this and let's go over to Postman and go ahead and log in. You're going to get a new token. Copy that token and go ahead and open up a new tab in Postman. Let's go over to where it says authorization. And then the type is going to be bearer token. And go ahead and paste that token in that box. And then let's go grab the URL from your login. Copy that and then put it into there. But we're going to have to change it to, I think it's weather forecast. Let's go check really quick the controller name. So this is, you can just copy weather forecast. No controller, just weather forecast. Yeah. And you're going to replace everything starting at the API to the end. Go ahead and press send. What does it say? Oh, interesting. In the beginning of your token, type in bearer. And then go ahead and send it again. Yeah, still. What is... I don't think we're hitting the right endpoint. Let's go look at the code really quick again. Route, weather forecast. Let's go look at the Visual Studio Code and let's go look at your files. And go to fetch data. And let's scroll down a little bit. See if we can find where it's actually grabbing the forecast. Go ahead, keep on going. I think it's going to be towards the bottom. Fetch weather forecast. Okay, try all lowercase weather forecast. And go ahead and give it a shot.
That's it.
One.
Unauthorized. So I think your token, ran out. So it's working. It's working in the fact that your token expired, because I think we only gave it 5 minutes. So we need to go get a new token. So let's go back to the login and log in again. Grab a new token. See how it's going to expire at 6:01?
Yeah.
Give it a shot. Unauthorized. Interesting. Get rid of the bearer. Get rid of the word bearer. Try it again.
All right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it uses that token. Now get rid of the token and try to do it.
What token?
That token, yeah.
Whoa, unauthorized.
Paste that token back in there.
Wow.
See how you secure the APIs now. So you're not only depending on you can go and hide the menus, right, from the UI. But even if they accidentally forget to turn off those menus and they go and click and they're not supposed to access that API, we can block it using the JSON web tokens to prevent unauthorized access to that data.
Secure.
That's right.
Security.
So I think what I want to do is I want to leave this the way it is right now, because we're going to be adding new things to it. We're going to start adding some functionality so people can register, people can log in, and then they can start putting in the significant events. And we'll register ourselves and we'll start doing it.
Cool.
You know what time it is?
Oh yeah.
It's time to deploy. So let's go ahead and stop this and commit all the changes, and let's watch it deploy.
So this is going to be working.
Whoa. Look what you're typing.
Hey.
We seriously got to get Jonathan a better keyboard.
Some of these buttons are too close to each other. I think it's my fingers.
So we got working authorization and authentication using entity framework. Let's go watch it build.
Let's do it.
And we'll watch it build.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
Windows 2016 environment is deprecated will be removed April 1st. Okay. Wow, did it deploy already?
I think it did, right?
Yeah, this was 4.4. No, this was back. Go to releases. Oh, there it is. It's deploying now.
Too soon. I did it too soon.
Sweet. So let's go to
Nice.
portal. Beej, let's all go in there and register.
Here's the website. I'll post it in the messages.
Okay.
I'm going to go register.
Oh, mine went through.
Yeah, I think I pressed it twice. Yep, mine
Oh.
went through too.
Cool.
Sweet. Mine's worked. You want to open up your SQL Server and watch our records in there, see if it went through.
Okay.
And you could just right click on ASP.NET users. There it is.
Hey, baby J. I'm test 2 and Victor.
Victor.
Sweet.
Sweet. 3 different
Yeah.
machines, 3, probably the same password.
Yep.
Cool.
All trusty.
Yeah. Very cool. So yeah, this is working. It's actually kind of cool.
We just need people to register now.
That's right. Yeah. Start registering. You know what we need to do? I actually have the Zignificant.com domain. We need to forward it to that one. And then that'll just make it easy for everybody to just go to Zignificant.com. We need to do that in one of the episodes. So I think we're ready to start adding functionality, Jonathan. I mean, this is what we needed. We needed authorization. We needed the ability to register and then authenticate a person. And now that we have that, we can start adding functionality, and they're only going to be able to add significant events if they're logged in. If they're not logged in, then they can only view them. If they are logged in, they can go ahead and submit them, and we'll display them. And little by little, we'll start adding more information. But it's kind of cool. Entity framework. I mean, it builds the whole data model for you and the whole thing. Yeah, it's like actually not too bad. I like it. I like it. Very cool. Well, until next time.